Welcome to the third video in the series of chord shapes for beginner ukulele players. In the first episode, we looked at the open strings and the one-finger chords. In our second episode, we looked at two-finger chords. In this one, it's all about three-finger chords. There's a lot of them, so stay tuned. This might be a long video. Three-finger chords. They're all derivatives of the two-finger chord. In other words, if we start with some of our two-finger chords and just add a finger, we get to the three-finger chords. Let's start with our G6 from the last video. So G6 was our first finger on the third string, second fret, our second finger on the first string, second fret as well. If I now come across with my ring finger and place it down on the third fret of the second string, I get a G chord. I can play that G chord also by barring the first three frets with my index finger and placing my second finger down on the third fret of the second string. Exactly the same strings have been fretted, but I've kind of cheated and moved from a three-finger chord to a two-finger chord. It depends on what chord's going to come next as to whether you use the three-finger version of G or that two-finger version of G. But that's both of them. Most beginners will use the three-finger version. All right, now if I have a look at that really carefully, I've got a bit of a triangle. I've got the base of the triangle here going across two strings, and I've got the apex of the triangle down the bottom. It's an upside-down triangle, right? Upside-down triangle. If I invert that triangle and put the apex at the top, I'll swap these two fingers over and I've got an index finger to put up on the first fret of the second string. So you see the base is the same, albeit with different fingers. I've moved to these two fingers, my middle and ring fingers, and I've got my index finger now on the first fret of the second string. That's my G7 chord. Going back again to this G6, remember we called G6 E minor 7 as well. Well, there's another E kind of chord that has this as its bass. Now I'm using my middle and ring fingers as the bass and my index fingers free to come across to the first fret of the fourth string to give me E7. So without that finger, two-finger chord E minor 7, with that finger, E7. All right, let's keep going. F, if you remember, was a two-finger chord. Index finger on the first fret of the second string, second finger on the second fret of the fourth string was F. If I take my ring finger and place it on the second fret but on the C string, so that's the third string, you can see I'm underneath there, I have D minor. So we've gone from F as a bass to D minor by adding a finger. If I take that and slide that new finger up to the third fret of that third string, my F becomes F7. So I started with F, I've now gone to F7 by adding the third fret on the third string with my ring finger or third finger. Okay, remember D7. We took these two fingers and we placed them on the second fret of the fourth and second strings. If I take this middle finger and move it to the third string on the second fret and take my ring finger and place it on the second fret as well, we're jamming a lot of fingers in there. So I have three fingers on that second fret on the fourth, third and second strings. I have a D chord. Now you can finger that D chord in a number of ways. You could try all three fingers. You could try 2 fingers by double stopping or putting one finger over 2 strings. I tend to do it over the 4th and 3rd strings, and using my middle finger over on the 2nd string on the 2nd fret. That's only a 2-finger chord, but its essence is a 3-finger chord. Or we can go one step further, and if you've got nice flexible joints, you might want to just press down on all 3 frets with one of your fingers. It doesn't have to be the index finger. It could be your middle finger. It could be your ring finger. And I'm now triple stopping, or using one finger to stop 3 strings at the same fret. So double stopping, triple stopping, etc., also known as partial bars. A bar is when you stop more than one string at a time. Keeping on going. Remember our C major 7 chord, where we had our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string? If we replace that finger with our 1st finger, so we're now 1st finger, 1st string, 2nd fret. If I take my 2nd finger, put it on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret, take my 3rd finger, place it on the 3rd string at the 4th fret, and strum that chord, I have E minor. Now another one of James Hill's chord twins is to take that shape, jump across the strings with the same shape. So we're now going to be on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, 3rd fret of the 3rd string, 4th fret of the 4th string, and an open 1st string. I have B7. So there it is, E minor to B7. Okay, we're nearly there. We're on the home stretch. Just 4 chords to go. Take your index finger and place it across the first 3 strings at the 3rd fret. We have one open string, which is G. We have an E flat, a G, and a C. That's our C minor chord. Slide back 1 fret, so we're now across 3 strings, the first 3 strings, at the 2nd fret. And we have the G major 7 chord. There's a G, a D, an F sharp, and a B. Slide down 1 more, so we're now across the first 3 strings, but at the 1st fret, and we have B flat minor 6. We have a G, we have a D flat, we have an F, and we have a B flat. Right, 2 to go. C7, if you recall, was 1 finger, 1st fret, 1st string. Keep your finger there. Come across with your 2nd finger to the 2nd fret, but on the 3rd string. With your 3rd finger, place it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And we have an open 4th string. That's our G minor chord. There are other ways to play G minor, which we won't cover in this video. We might look at other videos. If you take this shape and just slide your middle finger up 1 fret, so you're now having these 2 fingers, these 2 middle fingers, so that's fingers 2 and 3, both on the 3rd fret of the 2nd and 3rd strings, keeping your index finger across on the 1st fret of the 1st string and an open 4th string, we have E flat major. So we've gone from G minor, sliding up to get to E flat major. Okay, so that's the basic 3-finger chords for beginner ukulele players. Many of these chords can be played in different ways and in different parts of the neck. I've just showed you the basic ways of playing them to get you going. The next video might show some alternative positions for the same chords and introduce 1 or 2 other chords. then if you're really interested in learning more about movable chords up the neck, have a look at some of my other videos that talk about these movable shapes that use all 4 strings and 4 fingers. Enjoy your practice and hope to see you around the traps. Bye now.